Hello, hello. How are we doing this morning? Let me adjust my microphone here and pause the music. As always, because that's how we like to start. Oh, shoot. As I randomly click on things. Hi! Hello! How are we? Welcome, welcome. So, before we get back into our project, I just want to talk about something real quick. So, I have been hope everybody is feeling better than you. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's some tea and some chill. I hope you feel better. That sucks. My kid is home. I'm gonna finger quote sick. He was home yesterday and he's home again today. And yeah, so I don't know if he's actually, I feel horrible for saying this. I don't know if he's actually sick, but I digress. I did. I was watching. I really. I mean, I've enjoyed her videos for a while, but I really enjoy Lindsay, the Frugal Crafters, like her art creation videos, like getting to see her actually use the products. So I've been watching a lot of her her gouache videos, and she had a video recently with these, and I've actually was working on something in one of my sketchbooks with them. I started there before I decided whether or not I was going to use them in any of my my coloring books. Why is my screen not? Oh, hold on just a second. Got her cold from her, doubted she was sick, but turned out she actually was, and now a week later, oh no. But, yeah, so I picked these up and I've been playing with them in my sketchbook. We're not gonna use them, in today's project. We're gonna stick with the Caran dash, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm trying to figure out how, like, plan out how best to do this. So I think what I'm going to do probably is find one of my my Kirby books that I use as a tester, and I might just do I'm not going to say a half-ass background, but I might find a page with a nice section that I can do a background and kind of split it into quadrants, and in each quadrant take these and try a different technique with them, and then voiceover walking through the process, and then at the end kind of just whether or not I think these would be a good budget option for people that maybe either can't get the Caran d'Ache, but they want something that they can use for backgrounds, because these are relatively affordable here on Amazon US. I think they run, I'd have to look, about $25 a set. Mine are actually, unfortunately, because I've been using them and I was grabbing from both sets, so they're kind of mixed up between the two. Some of these probably actually go in the other tin, but honestly, I don't really care. Because like one of the sets, let's see, this looks like a black, but it's actually a castle gray. So the European set doesn't have a I'm sorry, the Europe set doesn't have a white, and the classic set doesn't have, oh, that doesn't have anything on the back. One of them doesn't have a white and one of them doesn't have the black. I don't believe, like I said, I've kind of mixed mine up. But let me see if I can reach the sketchbook. So this was kind of, it's not finished yet, but this was my first kind of go with these. And I think I probably wasn't quite using the right brush. I was just using the same water brush that I was using on our project. And I think these probably will require a little bit harder of a little bit firmer of a brush than the water brushes do. And also, I mean, this is kind of a toothier watercolor paper in this sketchbook. And there's a definite like ugly phase to this, but that's just art, I guess, you know. So, but the nice thing is you can pretty much use them, like you can use them dry, like dry on dry. You can use them wet on wet, and once your layer's dry, you can go back in and add more. And if that's the way that you prefer to work, these actually might be uh a little bit better for you than the Caran d'Ache, because you're not gonna pick up the under layers, I think, as much as you can with the Neo 2s. I find that I have a harder time layering more on top and not pushing around the undercolor with the Neo 2s. And these are actually a little bit better for that. And yeah, Lindsay did say that about the brushes. Like, each of these sets actually comes with a water brush. I didn't even bother to like crack into it. I just wanted to see for myself, like with one of my water brushes that I prefer using in the coloring books. So I did use it in here, and I will probably if I do, well, I'm going to, when I get my butt together, my crap together, when I do record that video, I think I will probably record a portion with the water brush and then a portion with a different brush. And it comes with a little palette too, so you can do the scribble on the palette and pick it up with the brush, so I probably will try that way. The one thing that I did notice, I tested out with these, and I'll talk about it again in the other video. So I find it's a lot easier to pick the pigment up off the crayon with the brush, with the Neo 2s, than it was with these, so that might not be, a really good option for using these. I found it really difficult to actually pick up any of the crayon off of the brush that way. But I did kind of use them dry on dry and a little bit of like wet on wet. And if you really lay down a nice layer of water, you can get them pretty watercolory. But yeah. And then I think I might also in here just do another small one next to it with the Neo 2s, but yeah, so that's kind of what I've been playing with. So I have some content I need to make. So I'm just gonna put these to the side so we can start our project. And for anybody watching that was not here last week, there is a part 1 of our page. This was voted on by the community, so this is the page that we are working on. And right now I have just been using the Neocolor IIs to do base layers, and then we'll go in with colored pencil and do some detail work. And we'd kind of decided that the plan for this, so the streams are going to be a little bit shorter, so we should hopefully be able to finish this in 3 streams. So today's part 2, and then next Tuesday will be part 3, and then the last stream of the month we'll probably paint, or we'll play with a supply and test things out. And then the new Kirby Rosanna's Dark Fairy Tales comes out on the 18th. So our first project for April will be our first page in that book, and there will be a flip through of that once I get my my copy. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at for right now. So a little bit shorter of a stream, but sometimes that works out a little bit better. And because I'm kind of not a smart lady sometimes. I got these Caran water brushes forever ago, and I kind of wrote them off because the inside of the brush is just this tiny little hole, so trying to fill them up was not an enjoyable experience. Well, I figured out today that the end of this is actually a plunger. So it's normally down inside the pen here. If you take this part off, stick it in like a cup of water, and then pull the plunger, it will fill the reservoir with water. So I think I'm going to try this brush today and see how I like it, since now I have figured out how to fill it. Yeah, I was refilling the other one this morning, and I was like, you know what this looks like? What is this? And then I was like, oh, I feel like the biggest dum-dum ever. Hey, Kippy, how are you? Dropping by to say a quick hello. Hello. Hi. How are ya? I'm guessing you're working in the office today? So maybe we'll use this brush if it's actually going to... Do I have to plunge it from up here? Oh, you have to plunge it from up here. Well, also, it's quite drippy. That's a little uncomfortable, to be perfectly honest. My hands don't quite stretch that far. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's like it's got the push button on the side, but the push button on the side doesn't really squeeze out a whole lot of water. We're gonna try it though. Remote but headed to an appointment. I gotcha. Alright, let me find my Well, it's good to see you. I hope to have some members content coming up. I have a busy week this week, but I would like to hopefully have the mental fortitude to sit down and actually record some content, because I feel horrible that I'm like, oh, let's open up the memberships, and anything with the side push button is too awkward for you. Well, I don't mind the push button on this one, the Arteza. I actually prefer the Arteza water brushes. I was actually thinking about getting another set of these, but this one has this little like plunger on the top. I feel like I'm gonna probably need to like watch a video for how to manage this brush, but well, I feel like I feel shitty about it. It's just like I have these like moments where I'm like, yeah, and I'm feeling good, and I'm, I like ahead of the game, and I have ideas, and then they change my medication, and or do other things that just throw me for a loop, and it just like my brain in those moments, it's like I get overloaded, and I'm struggling to even do day-to-day tasks. Like, I should have booked the cats in for their well visits like forever ago, but I was also kind of waiting for my tax refund to come back. And it's like I'm sitting here like I need to make all these appointments, but I just have like I just some days just don't have the energy to do much more than keep the animals alive and feed myself. And even some days that's a struggle. Oh, I mean, I'm having a good day today. I'm still like pretty fatigued. Um and I have more, well, I had one medication change, and then they just made another one. So, I had my anxiety medication, they changed the dosage for that. And then I just had my most recent set of thyroid labs, and it sucks because they look at it and they're like, "Oh, well, your numbers are in range. You should be feeling pretty good." And I'm like, "Well, I don't." But because my thyroid numbers are back in their range, now they have dropped me down again, so I'm only taking it on the weekends. I think at this point they're trying to see what well, I mean, the whole process has been trying to see what happens when they change my medication, but I think they're trying to see um if I am what they call euthyroid, and potentially headed for remission. So we will see in April what happens after this last dosage change. I'm basically just tired of being tired at this point. So I don't want these completely black. So I'm going to add in some brown And then, of course, daylight savings time always throws me for a loop. I actually prefer when it's lighter earlier in the morning than when it's darker longer, because then it I feel like I'm more motivated to get up when it's light out. Oh, thank you for the good vibes. I appreciate that. But for now, we're just working on this page, and I'm actually really enjoying the way this is coming along. So I'm gonna say thank you to Sonia for inching me towards picking Eriy for this month. Yeah, it's not daylight savings time is not an enjoyable experience. And of course my cats are confused too. Don't change until the last week in March and I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah, but the TP looks like it's illuminated from the inside. Oh, thank you, because that is exactly what I was going for. I wanted it to look like it was like lit up, because then that also gave me a little bit more like light to play with in the foreground. I might need to go in and just touch some things up, but it's very rustic looking. I'm just trying to decide if I want to do that with do a little bit more Neocolor work on it, or just go with the pencils for it. We shall see. Do, 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 do. But I guess the plus side of procrastinating on cat appointments is so Alusa was due in February, and then Esther and Parker were due this month. But since I waited a little bit, now Aluso will go on Wednesday and Esther and Parker will go on Friday, so I can knock 3 of them out in 1 month and kind of like condense things a little bit, and then Minerva will go next month, and then Lorna will go in June. Thank you for that, Sonia. I appreciate it. If Minerva didn't have hyperthyroidism, I would hold off um with her until June and try and get it so that she and Lorna would line up. But April will be about the 3-month mark since we changed her medication, and that was when they wanted to recheck her levels. So maybe at some point I can change that, but okay, I'm gonna try this Caran brush. So I like the brush itself, but it is like I like the the pointiness of the brush, but it is quite the quite the juicy brush. Have a good day, KP. Be safe. Thank you for stopping in. Okay, this brush is good for getting like right up close to the lines. I think my other brush, because I've used it so much and it's kind of like flattened out, is probably better for like larger spaces, but okay, so I'm gonna just do these with the Caran brush for right now, and then I'm gonna switch back to the other one. Cat walked over the keyboard. Oh, I know how that goes. I thought I was going to have to delay my stream a little bit because Esther was in here and very needy and didn't want any of the suggestions that I offered for her to be able to nicely stay in here. I put her little pillow that she sometimes sits on my desk. Not good enough. I offered to let her sit in my lap. Not good enough. She just really wanted to be on, oh gosh, just really wanted to be on the desk. I like how when it dries you can still kind of see some of like the detail lines underneath the Neocolor. And then any of the little pieces that I don't feel like I can quite get with the brush, I can just do with the pencils when we get to that. Hey Brittany, how are ya? I'm actually using the Neocolor IIs. I'm doing all my base layer with the Neos, and then we'll go in and do pencil work once everything is dry. Okay, let's see. So these are actually the same blues that I used for the sky. I just gave the little boy the darker blue for his pants and the girl the lighter ones. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, I'm having fun. I don't use my Neocolor IIs enough. And I really need to start using what I have. And I kind of feel like these books lend themselves to a more painterly style. And I know the colored pencils will go well over top of them. Now, it probably would be easier to color match if I broke out my luminance pencils, but I'm just going to work with the pencils that are already out, so I'm going to use my Derwents. Do I have a pink? Do have a pink. Actually, you know what I think might make this easier? I'm gonna go over the whole thing with this pink, and then I'll just pick a darker color with the pencil to do the, because I think trying to be like super precise about not getting in there with the brush is going to be a lot more difficult than if I just give it a whole pink base layer and then color them in with a darker color with the pencil. Okay, and now for this guy, let's see here. I am going to do the stripes on his sweater in this orange color. Okay, let me see what else I've got here. turn it. trying to get the majority of this blocked in before I have to go feed the cats. I'm surprised nobody has come screaming at my door yet. Nope. There's still music. It just might be kind of quiet. Amazon let you return open package for a USB rechargeable eraser that was missing the charging cord and give you a free replacement. Well, that's good. At least that they made it right and gave you a replacement. Okay. I'm gonna let this dry and go feed the cats before they come trying to break my my door down, so I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Cats have been fed. Let's see. Daily victories. Yeah, you just gotta take it a step at a time. Lots of in-home PT to do and lots of walking laps around the house. Have a friend staying until your precautions are lifted. Well, that's good that you've got somebody there to make sure that everything is okay. Hi again, Brittany. Okay, so you can do this other tree trunk or log. The black trees in the background, the whole thing so far is all Neocolor IIs. I have not used any other media on this so far. Cannot bend beyond 90 degrees, so anything floor level is not accessible. Ooh. Rebooting helped. You can hear again. Nice. Welcome back, Sonia. Time for PT works. We need to leave. Hope to catch your next live. All right, Yana. Take care. Be safe. Hopefully PT goes well. And I will be here next week as well. Contacted Google about the auto-generated captions and transcripts on video tutorials on YouTube not up to ADA standards. Uh, they're making you screenshot a video with the auto-generated transcriptions next to it to point out what's wrong, which I haven't done yet. I'm not trying to help yourself out, but other people who could benefit from the better auto-generated captions and transcripts. Yeah, some of them are not the greatest. I almost colored these as I thought these were apples, and they are actually mushrooms. I hope these kids are not picking random mushrooms out of the woods and eating them, because that's just a bad idea. Some amanita poisoning. These look like pancakes. Oh, let me find another playlist. Hmm. Okay, so I keep going back and like looking at different areas of this, and I'm just going through now and adding some of this kind of grayish color into the sky in a few different areas. I just think it gives it a little bit more of an interesting kind of like lighting effect. Not so much like clouds, just a little more um dynamic, I guess. So I'm also trying to be careful not to spread it out too far. So I'm picking up the paint off of the crayon, putting a little bit of it down, and then if I feel like I've got too much, I'm just wiping it off and using the brush damp to kind of spread it out and blend it in. Oh, that's cool that you don't have to press and hold anything. I should look into that. Okay, I'm gonna hit this with the heat tool real quick. Oh, thank you, Sonia. I appreciate that. I am going to start on a little bit of pencil work. And we'll see how we go. Let's grab a couple colors I think I might need. You are an ink tense. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like the smart app. I use it for my printer as well. Yeah, I have carpal tunnel. So maybe that would be a better option for me as well. So I might have to pull some other colors. So I'm gonna just try and do what I can, or some of what I can, with the colors that I already have out on my desk, and then we will do those other areas next week. Yeah, that is one of the unfortunate things with some of these companies. They put microchips in the printers and in the cartridges to deter people from using like third party manufacturers, because they were losing out on money on their toner cartridges. um Keurig did the same thing with their K cups, because other companies were manufacturing their own, so they ended up putting like a chip in the labels on the official Keurig K cups, and started making it so their machines would only use Keurig branded products. A lot of people were pissed about that for for obvious reasons, but they use um the reusable K cup things, and just put the coffee grounds in that, rather than contribute to all of the plastic waste in the landfills. And so when they changed their machines, a lot of those don't work anymore. Buy a laser printer that can print on 8.5 by 11 paper. So it is really difficult to find actual 8.5 by 11 size, like legitimate watercolor paper that will actually go through the printer. I have in the past used, hold on a second, I will look it up. Let's see. I'm trying to find it so I can get the right brand name. Strathmore has a watercolor paper that is 8.5 by 11, but it's not really designed to print and paint on. It's more for printing images to make them look like watercolor paper, but I have used it to print and paint on, and it does a decent job. But the thicker watercolor papers themselves, you're probably going to have a hard time finding a printer that will take them unless you are willing to up your budget and buy a printer that has a back paper slot where you can slide the paper through the back, and they're hard to find and a little more expensive than than most of the laser printers that you're gonna find. I'd have to look into that brand. But yeah, the problem is if you're using like the top feeder, or anything that the paper has to bend around, is where it gets a little dicey. Because like I have a bunch of Arches watercolor that I could cut down, but it will not fit through my my laser printer. And I'm not willing to try because I don't want to ruin my printer. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I might have to experiment with this a little bit more. So I had actually gone in and used my my chromaflows in a couple spots on here. And then I noticed that there was a couple spots of the Neo 2 that weren't quite blended out as nice as I would like. So I just went back in with my water brush, and the chromaflows look like they're actually tolerating having the water applied over top of them relatively nicely. So color me intrigued. That's an interesting development. I can't tell if the colored pencil is. I can't tell if the colored pencil is moving or if it's dissolving with the water. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what is happening here. I don't dislike it, but now I don't want to waste a page in my sketchbook, but I'm trying to remember if I used any of the chromaflows on my cactus. I'm gonna have to experiment with that. Let me. Where are you? Oh, hold on a second. Okay, I had to take a quick phone call. Okay, so let me... That's actually kind of cool. So, if I lay down the colored pencil and then realize that there are spots that I need to touch up with the Neocolor, I still can't tell exactly what it's doing. I may have to mess with this with some lighter colors in my sketchbook, but well, that's very sad for Lady Gaga if it is in fact true. Alright, we're gonna sacrifice a... Actually, let me see if there's a page in here that... Let me put that over that real quick. Let's just... Oh, that's... That's interesting. I mean, obviously it doesn't move like a watercolor pencil, but it's very faint. But some of that did lift. I do have a couple of the other Eriy books. I have all three of the romantic countries, and then I have the fairy tales. Hold on a second. Have to go back and look at the poll. I have world literature and world legends also. Yeah, that's definitely... I mean, potentially not... And not good if you're just using the colored pencils and it gets wet. But for what I am doing with them on this page, it's not a bad thing, because then I can kind of blend blend a little bit of the pencil out into the Neocolor, and it doesn't look quite as stark. Did they say the chromaflows are supposed to be water resistant or waterproof after coloring with them? I don't know if anybody has ever tested that. Because I mean, remember the debacle with the original version of the regular Arteza colored pencils, when people were having issues with them behaving straight like a watercolor pencil. But I would think that these would not behave that way. Hi, Rainbow Kitten, how are ya? Yeah, you can find them on regular Amazon as well. On US Amazon, I've gotten a few of them there. And then a couple off of Etsy. But I do like this for the fact that now I can work back and forth between the pencils and my certain wet media in my sketchbook. Yes, they are. Some of them are on the U.S. Amazon site. I'm looking at one right now. Yeah, it is pretty good what it's totally lost my train of thought. Uh yeah, it's really neat what she does. I just have a hard time um figuring out how to color some of the pages in her books. But I am having fun with this one. So you just press it to turn it on and then press it to turn it off? Yeah, I'll have to look into that because the AFMAT one that I use now, I have to hold the button. Okay, so I think that is where I am going to leave this for today. I might go in and do a little bit of work just on some of the darker parts on the trees. And then I think it's reasonable to say that we should be able to finish this up next week, and if not, then we will just extend it into a fourth week. But it's still kind of damp down here, so I'm gonna give it a chance to dry and step away from it for a little bit. And also, I need some lunch, so but yeah, I think we can definitely finish this next week. So alrighty then. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I super appreciate it. This has been a really fun project to work on, and I'm looking forward to seeing like what the end result turns out as. Interesting development today that we can actually kind of lift and smooth out the chroma flows with water. I was not expecting that, but hey, sometimes we find out fun things. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. And I will see you in the next one.